Okay, so for starting items, you want to start off with a hunter's machete and 5 potions. And then you can either get a sweeping lens, a wooden totem, or a screen orb. I like to start off with the wooden totem. Master is called Dragonborn, and she gains 5 armor and magic resist, and this goes up with her level. And this is also doubled when she is in her ultimate Dragon's Descent. Her Q ability is Twin Bite. Shyvana strikes her target twice on her next attack, dealing physical damage on the second attack, and then this bonus damage is equal to 80% of Shyvana's attack damage. And Twin Bite is reduced by 0.5 seconds every auto attack. And for her dragon form, it cleaves everyone in front of her instead of just one target. Burnout, it's Shyvana deals 20 magic damage per second to nearby enemies and moves 30% faster. Also, this movement speed buff is reduced over time. And basic attacks extend the duration of burnout by 1 second to a maximum of 4 seconds. And the dragon form, burnout leaves a trail of fire behind you and does damage to enemies every second. Flame Breath is her E ability. Shyvana unleashes a fireball that does 60 magic damage to all enemies, passes through, and then debuffing them for 0.5 seconds. And then basic attacks to debuff targets deal 2% of their maximum health. That's magic damage. And then Flame Breath engulfs everyone, all units in front of them in like a cone. Her ult is Dragon's Descent. Shyvana transforms into a dragon that takes flight to a target location. Enemies along her path take 175 magic damage and are knocked toward her target location. Shyvana generates 1 fury every 1.5 seconds, and basic attacks generates 2 fury. Okay guys, and now for maxing order, you want to max your W, then your E, and then your Q. Your W is faster clear, your E is for more damage for auto attack, and your Q is just maxing out your last ability. And then you want to get your ultimate at 6, 11, and 16. Then after I get the hunter's machete, I come back to base, and if I have enough I buy Madred's razor, and then I buy a giant's belt next, then boots, and then I finish my Madred's into a Pharaoh Flare, Wriggle's Lantern, and then my giant's belt into a Sunfire Cape. And if you want, you can finish your boots first into Ninja Tabby before you get your Sunfire Cape. Then after I get my Sunfire Cape, I get another giant's belt and build into a Randuin's Omen. Once I finish that, I go to Warmogs, or if they have a lot of magic damage, I go for Spirit Visage. Then after I finish that, this is optional of what you want to get. You can get damage, which I do not advise, because straight tank it's much better and you still have tons of damage. So you can get a Warmogs after, or you can get a Frozen Mallet, or you can just go to health or armor, and you can buy a Thornmail, or you can buy a Guardian Angel, or a Locket of the Iron Slark. That is a very good item for your team also, and for you. And then that should be it. And then, like I said before, after you get your Sunfire Cape and you're in an Omen, everything is just optional of what you want to do. Now for clearing order. You want to start at your red buff on blue side. And then once you finish your red buff, you want to go to Wraiths, then you want to go to blue buff or wolves. Wolves, you always want to go to blue buff unless you know that they didn't invade it or they're not going to invade it. And wolves is just easier, it's just in case your smite isn't up by then. So after you clear Wraiths, you can either go to wolves or you can go to blue buff. And then after that, you usually just want to power farm till 6 or invade their red. And then if you invade their red, then and they're not there, then that's good. But if they are there, you can most likely kill them if they're not in the early game, like high damage early game, just because of Shyvana's early game damage. Then if you don't invade, then you just want to power farm till 6, and you want to go back, get your mud dreads, boots. You want mud dreads, giant's belt, and if you can, boots. And then after you do that, you just want to gank and farm buffs in between just to stack up to your Pharaoh Flare. And the tip is, the tip for Hunter's Machete is that you don't have to have your mud dreads or your Pharaoh Flare or your Wriggles Lantern to stack your Pharaoh Flare. And now the clearing order for red side. You always want to start on your bottom buff or the bottom side of your map, just because your bot lane gives you a much better clear. And this is optional, but if you want to start at your top buff so that you can invade them if you know that they might be starting at their bottom buff. And on blue side, after you clear blue buff, you want to go, you can either do wolves. Wolves is not the best choice just because they can crit and they might probably, and they do more damage than Wraiths. And then you want to go to Wraiths and then up to your red. You can do your red first and then Wraiths, and that is also optional. And this is the same thing as before. You want to power farm till 6, go back to base, get your mud dreads, and then you want to get your giant's belt and boots. Summoner spells. For summoner spells, you want to get Ghost and Ignite. And Smite, excuse me. Smite is always what you want to get for jungling. No matter what, you always get Smite. And Ghost is optional. You can get Flash, Ghost, Teleport, any other summoner spell that you want, except that you cannot change out Smite for anything. Playstyle. For playstyle, you pretty much want to farm, gank a little bit, and go for objectives. Once you get your giant's belt and Madrez, you can do dragon at level 6, or higher. You can do it before, but it's not advised because if an enemy comes, you most likely will be dead. And if your bot lane can help you, then you can do it much earlier. You go for objectives and you go for kills. If you get kills early, then you are going to be a monster. But you mostly want to aim for objectives like towers, dragon, baron later in the game, and you always want to secure your buffs. You want to farm most of your game to stack up your Pharaoh Flare, and then once you stack up your Pharaoh Flare, you always want to keep on farming just because the stacks give you more AD and lifesteal. Thanks guys for watching my Shyvana tutorial, and I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that it will help you a lot. The crew out.